In this video, we will discuss how Apple, the same company that manufactures your phones, laptops, computers, smartwatches, is slowly becoming a bank. It all starts in 2013, whereby Apple releases the Touch ID. Now you must be thinking, how is the Touch ID related to Apple being a bank? So back in the days, we were only able to use a 4-digit PIN to validate a debit or a credit card transaction. This has a lot of disadvantages. For example, it is time consuming, you can forget your PIN, you can accidentally press the wrong button, and most importantly, it is not too safe. By launching the Touch ID, Apple is convincing you to use the Touch ID to unlock your phone. Eventually, what happens, you get to know how safe and fast it is, and you're convinced to use the Touch ID for payments. And to be honest, it is a good thing because it is faster, safer, and more convenient for payments. Speaking of payments, in October 2014, Apple launches Apple Pay, their mobile payment service. In the same year, Apple becomes the leader in mobile payments. So basically, it took Apple less than 3 months to become a leader in that segment. More than 1 million bank cards were added to Apple Pay, and by 2022, Apple Pay was responsible for 5% of world payments, guys. To give you some perspective, in 2022, in the US alone, there were 54.8 billion transactions. 5% of that is 2.74 billion transactions that were made through Apple Pay. So technically, more than 5 billion transactions were made using Apple Pay worldwide, guys. So far, you're only able to make a payment to a merchant. In 2017 though, Apple releases Apple Pay Cash, also known as Apple Cash in the US. Now you're able to send and receive money and even split bills with whoever you want straight from the iMessages app. Think of it like Venmo or Cash App, but this one is for Apple. Apple is now thinking, what's our next move after Apple Pay and Apple Pay Cash? In 2019, Apple releases Apple Card in cooperation with Goldman Sachs and MasterCard. Just like other credit cards, you get to use your rewards and other benefits. However, what makes Apple Card so unique is the user interface in their app. Guys, look how cool it is. You get a heat map of your spending category. So let me explain. If you use your Apple Card, let's say for Starbucks or App Store purchases, the card will be a mix of pink and orange. How cool is that? I think it's a great feature to have, and I think every bank needs to have this feature. If you're liking the video so far and have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click that like button and that subscribe button. It really helps for my channel to grow. And let's continue with the video. Now within the Apple ecosystem, you can make payments, send money, get rewards. The next big move for Apple has got to be a savings account. Indeed, they come up with an exceptionally good savings account. Guys, this is what the big banks, the big US banks offer. It's peanuts. Now compare it to the 4.15% return that Apple gives. It's more than 10 times what the big US banks are offering, and people reacted to it like they should have. Try to guess how much money Apple received as deposits on the launch day. Okay, you must be guessing $10 million, $50 million, or you know what? It's the world's biggest company, so let's double it to $100 million. Well, they raked in, ready? $440 million as deposits on the first day itself, guys. After 4 months, they brought in $10 billion as deposits. Well, guys, this is a clear example that people are fed up with the traditional banks. They're moving their money away from the big US banks. But one thing you have to give credit is the people at Apple. They are very, very smart. They released the savings account at an incredibly good time. The fall of Silicon Valley Bank and the First Republic Bank highly influenced people to move their money to Apple because Apple is recognized for being safe and trustworthy. The next thing, when you open a bank account at a traditional big US bank, you have to get an appointment, talk to one of the employees, bring the correct documents, submit them, and only after a few days you can go ahead and use the account. But for Apple, you open the savings account in less than 1 minute. As a wise man once said, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Fast forward to March 28, 2023, Apple releases Apple Pay Later. It's a buy now, pay later service. And by offering this service, Apple has made its first steps into the very lucrative billion-dollar debt industry. So what's this service they're offering? So basically, Apple will pay for the product that you want to buy up front, but you have to pay it back in 4 payments over 6 weeks. Just like the big boss of USA's biggest bank says, if you hold money, move money, manage money, and lend money, you're a bank. So through Apple Savings Account and Apple Pay Cash, Apple is holding money. Through Apple Pay and Apple Pay Cash, Apple is moving money. Apple is lending money through its Apple Pay Later program. Well, and you must be thinking, how is Apple managing money, right? Apple is already doing that with the billions of dollars of deposits that they got through the Apple Savings Account. So that's the reason why, guys, I think that Apple is slowly becoming a bank. The plan that Apple implemented and has been working on since 2013 with the implementation of the Touch ID has been doing wonders, given that it has successfully been able to eat a piece of the $12 trillion financial sector. Anyway, guys, I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. If you agree, disagree, or think that I missed something, please comment down below. On this note, see you next Sunday. Ciao.